that does not fit at all. You can use that as an excuse to use that whenever you want, but
Okay,
it doesn't go with Stairway to Heaven.
Not with that
in
attitude.
what word? Like.
All right, go ahead, Javier.
My favorite part of Stairway to Heaven was when Jimmy Page whipped out the train whistle.
Okay, all right. We need.
There's a man on a train.
Okay,
And
we
it
need
causes
somebody
great
to send
pain.
us an opening song. All right, and with that, we are back. This is here Pontification Station. We are ready for a special edition. No, I gotta push buttons. Hold on. There you go, so everybody can see the amazing Steven. We are here. This is Angel. We got a Javier. And we got a Steven all in the house today for a special edition.
I'm hooked on our podcast. Ba-da-ba.
I like it. All right.
See, the worst part is like, so we sing stuff like that, and sometimes the continuation, like, there's just not a lot of great rhymes with cast.
Past.
Last.
Yeah,
Fast.
but see where my
On the podcast.
I'm just glad it's not. And then you
It
know,
sure
you
won't
see where it goes, you
last.
know. Yeah, you see. Ba, ba, da, ba.
Wait, no, that's a different thing. Anyway, so again, we are getting started. Today we have a special edition of Pontification
Special
Station.
edition.
Yeah, so usually in Pontification Station, what we do is we each bring one interesting fact,
That is true.
and then
Typically.
we pontificate from there.
Pontification
However, there were news today, January, what is it, 18th, 2022.
I should go last today, by the way, because the news. We shouldn't do the news first. We should do the news last.
Last, yep. I agree with that.
Because mine ties into the news.
Oh.
That's true. That's true. So you go last then. Or do you want to go first and then type
No,
back to
I
the
go
news?
last.
Okay.
He wants
Because then that gives us a good segue into the news.
I need like a news thing, you know?
We all do.
Yeah, do that. Go for it.
What?
I was going a third up.
Well, yeah, but if you go a third up, you at least have to follow the melody.
Yeah. Oh no, I was freestyling.
The style is free because you can't convince anybody to pay for it.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And with that, Steven, would you like to share your interesting fact for the week?
Already? It's so soon. Yeah, let me pull it up real quick so I can read it verbatim.
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 Do the verbatim thing.
Here it is. All right, you guys ready for this? This is
I'm-
also kind of...
I am so ready.
This is a little-
I'm ready for your fact. Ba, ba, da, ba. It's just gonna be our continuing thing today.
All right.
Anyway, this is a little relevant to the news for later today
A little
as well.
bit. Okay, I like a
later
little bit.
today. A little bit.
All right, go.
So,
Little.
this good old game that I was very hyped for as a child. For Fable 2, there's a loading screen which mentions a rumor that the hero of Oakvale murdered the guildmaster and carved "Your health is low" on his forehead. This is a little joke, as in Fable, he contacts the hero every time his health is low, similar to Navi from Ocarina of Time. So, for a little backstory there, the hero Oakvale is the main character from Fable 1. So, your character that you play as in Fable 1 ends up murdering the person who taught you everything because he's annoying as hell.
I
Very
like
funny.
it.
Like literally, every time your health got kind of low, like getting there, like oh, because you're in a fight and all that, he comes out of nowhere like, your health is low. Do you have any food or potions? Every time, every time. So you can see like, oh, our age.
You cannot handle my potions.
Exactly.
My
My
potions.
potions.
Go ahead, Javier.
A dragon could not handle my potions, let alone a mere man.
Well, yeah, yeah. It's just funny. I'm like, when I read that, I just remembered the first game too because you can in like, are you guys familiar with Fable at all?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So as you know, Good or Evil because it's Lionhead Studios kind of a niche. In one of the Evil playthroughs, you could do this on any. From I recall, like you could be literally halo around your head. You could be 100% good. You can still technically do this. But the evil path, you can actually go back and you do kill the Guildmaster, and he does kind of another reference. He kind of does a Obi-Wan Kenobi or Vader thing, where Obi goes, "If you strike me down, I'll come back even more powerful," or something like that. And you interrupt him in mid-sentence, and you just kill him in a cutscene. It's super funny,
Well,
very very funny.
I will tell you what I remember most about Fable. Again, for those of you listening on the podcast, we got 3 generations here, and I am the eldest here. I am 50 years old, and what I remember about Fable is playing it, and at that time, they didn't have the autosave like they do now. So, I specifically remember I was trying to do the whole good thing, walk around with a halo. And I don't remember what it was. I meant to shake somebody's hand in town, and I accidentally stabbed him. So in my attempt to do this good deed, I end up killing somebody in town, and I remember diving off the bed, trying to get to the console so I could turn it off before it saved. I was like, no.
Oh man.
And I got to it, but the things you can't do anymore, no, because now automatically autosaves is like there's no going back. You killed this dude. Because I remember David did that with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
He meant to give somebody something and ended up giving him a bullet, and had to flee town.
Bullets are expensive. It's a good gift.
Yeah,
it was rather entertaining.
That's the beautiful thing about the Souls games is the games constantly autosave. Like you take a step, autosave.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Any mistake you made, like it's permanent until your next playthrough.
Well,
so you accidentally attack your buddy and you kill him, he's gone.
I gotta be honest, I do like it when games decide to make fun of themselves,
Oh yeah.
I like it. It's like,
it's
hey,
good.
I like self-aware games, like games that like I'm a video game. We understand that we're gonna be a little goofy,
Yeah.
Yeah. I like things that don't take themselves too seriously.
Absolutely.
So,
go ahead, Javier.
I have a fact, and then I have a story. So, the fact about Fable is that I was reading up on like just interesting facts about Fable, and apparently drinking 5 beers is the equivalent to murder. So if being as a whole, again, as you were saying, Lionsgate, the good and evil karma system thing, drinking 5 beers gave you the same amount of evil karma points as committing murder in the game.
Take note.
So technically, if you just you can drink yourself into having demon horns.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that.
It's you.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to probably drink a decent amount, but like the fact that 5 beers equates to murder in the Lionsgate karma system, I always thought the karma system was kind of weird, like just in how it worked. But
my favorite little side effect of it was when you cheese the game a little bit and you do a little manipulating the console date and time.
Oh yeah.
By that I mean, like we'll say, Fable 2, another example, is because you can purchase properties and you can rent it out.
Yeah.
purchase a bunch of properties, make the rent incredibly high, and then you save the game, exit out, go to your Xbox's system settings, change the date and time to like the max date, go back in the game. Not only are you rolling in dough, it's like I'm talking about, you're the richest man in town now. You have horns touching the sky.
Yeah.
You jack the rent of this entire town for everybody, and you're just like the worst landlord.
It's like,
and
yes.
Technically, you disappear from existence because you time travel into the future. You come back loaded with money, and you're just like, you're living out Mr. Krabs' fantasy.
Money. And so for the story, I played Fable 2. Fable 2 was my first exposure to Fable. I played it with my sister. She played the main character, and I played player 2. And
that's right. You can do like a little.
Which, by the way, is probably the only time you ever played player 2.
No, David was always player 1.
Was David always player 1?
He always wanted player 1.
That's what I was wondering about. I was like, I couldn't remember which one of you.
With how much that boy likes control, you don't expect him to be player 1. He likes to control things, and not in like a bad way. He just doesn't not like not having control. Understandably so.
Yes.
Which is fine because Luigi's the better Mario brother anyway.
That's true. He is the most respected one.
He just has more character. Mario's.
He does, absolutely.
He's just like he's Wonder Bread. He's just kind of bland. But anyway, so I was playing player 2, and we're at the end. So I don't know if you know this, but I know you know this because you've played through the games. But
he doesn't know nothing.
The main villain.
I know nothing.
You get to the main villain, and he's like going on this whole tirade about his evil upcoming and whatever, and all of the reasons for why he's doing what he's doing. And I accidentally hit the Y button, which is the shoot button, and apparently you can stop him mid tirade, and he just falls down this huge chasm because you shot him and he died. So we're sitting there like invested in the story and watching everything, and then I accidentally hit the Y button and he just drops, and we speechless. We're like, wait, what? Excuse me?
You never get to find out what happens.
Absolutely not.
Well, that's like me and Infinite Undiscovery. I think I started that game 3 times and I never finished it.
Absolutely.
Well, like most RPGs that are a little obnoxious. But do you want a little spoiler to that little story, actually, that kind of puts the little cherry on top?
Do it. Oh, wait, do that again. That magical hand just showed up out of nowhere. That was cool. All right. For those of you listening on the podcast, we are live.
Appendages.
The hero of Vale has 4 hands.
Yeah, you look like what is it? Rayman.
Oh my.
Yeah. You have no arms. These hands. This head and hands just came out of nowhere.
That was such an aesthetic game. I
love Rayman.
Like Rayman 2 was my jam on PlayStation 1.
That was great.
But so I kind of hate it, actually. It was not a good catharsis for everything. End of Fable 2, the main villain is doing his giant monologue, right?
Yeah.
He's the villain. He's got to do his monologue, as you were saying. If you actually listen to him, like you hear him out, like before you do your thing. You remember that guy, Reaper? I think it was Reaper, the skill hero that you add to your party.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, because the whole point of that game was you were gathering the gang, basically.
Yeah.
The one that's strength, the one that's magic, the one that's skill. The one that's skill because he's a pompous jerk, Mr. Suave.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just shoots him. He's like, I was so tired of him talking. He literally says that. Well, I mean, not verbatim says that, but that was the tone. He's like, oh my god, he was so boring. He shoots him. You actually want to hear him out and listen to him. He's like, yeah, screw it. Okay, what do you got? Did he say? And, like, within like 30 seconds of the dialogue, just kills him.
That's hysterical. Wow. So if I hadn't done it, it would have happened anyway.
Exactly. That's the point I was going to make, is that no matter what, I think it was going to be the same outcome. Because he would have been interrupted regardless.
Wow.
That's so funny.
That's a little thing. I mean, I kind of didn't like it because I was like, I actually want to hear him out because maybe he's an interesting villain. But
yeah. So it's kind of weird because like you think that it would have led up to like a bigger like ending, or like a boss fight or something that made.
No, so that was kind of a problem with me because Fable 1, in my opinion, is the best of the three. It just has
Yeah.
like enough content, the story's great enough, like you have purpose throughout, but it's also like not necessarily a hurry too. Fable 2, you can beat within 3 hours, honestly.
Yeah.
And not in a good way.
It's
like,
a really
it's
short game.
Right, there's a lot of cool content in it, but like ultimately it's just too short and not a lot to discover. And again, the game ends on like a really kind of a wet fart of a cliffhanger, and as you said, there was no climax to the ending.
And as we continue to pontificate, because that's what we do here, we pontificate, which means we're literally just going to jump from one thing to another, which is not what pontificate means, but it is what it means here. Speaking of short games, I really, really liked Rise.
Rise of Rome.
Yes, but it was so short.
Well, I mean, it was essentially a tech demo.
It was a day one tech demo, and that's why the gameplay was also kind of the same stimulus as like dialing a phone number.
Yeah,
you know. So, yeah, but it was a cool game.
Beautiful.
I love Latin, or like just Roman culture in general. I actually took like 4 years of Latin, so getting me this kind of stuck with it. But cool game. I agree with you.
Yeah, I really liked it.
They put it on PC, so you can really appreciate it.
All right. So my point today.
What is your point?
My point today is
how pointy is it?
Sonic original name was Mr. Needlemouse. That was Sonic the Hedgehog's original name, Mr. Needlemouse. Now, I started to look into this because I found it interesting for a couple of reasons. From everything I could find, I believe Needlemouse is the literal translation of hedgehog from Japanese into English.
Huh.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
Now, the reason I found that funny is because I get it.
Arina Izumi?
Well, so in Spanish, in English, you have an anteater. Okay? Mm-hmm. Guys got the idea of an anteater. But in Spanish, we actually call it a anthill bear.
They do look more like bears.
Yeah. So,
can you imagine if they called them ant bears? That would be so much cooler.
Yeah. So we actually call them anthill bear. Is what we call them in Spanish. Bear. Yeah, it's an anthill bear, or ant bear, but that's what we actually call them in Spanish. It's also hormiguero, and also obviously just literal bear, and hormiguero is anthill. So it's an anthill bear. So it's really funny when you start moving some of these literal translations over.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was Needlemouse, Mr. Needlemouse. However, I did find in the Archie comics. Did you guys find anything about the Archie comics or hear about it?
So I was actually going to tell you.
Go ahead.
I know this. That was going to be my little. Oh, but did you also know?
Yeah. Tell us. What did you find?
So I remember the first word to it. I can remember spelling it, but I can't remember how to pronounce it. So I just went on Translate Google to see how they pronounce the first name, which is Ogilvy Maurice Hedgehog. This is his real name. Maurice, first of all, the fact that that's his middle name is pretty funny. No offense to any Maurices.
Some people call me the Space Cowboy.
Ogilvy Maurice.
Some people call me the Gangster of Love.
Ogilvy.
Some people call me Maurice. Exactly.
So
did you read a little bit more about the whole Maurice thing?
I didn't read more into it. I just remember that being his name.
Okay, so what happened was in the Archie comics, he's having a conversation with Sally. Mm-hmm. And in it, she's like, "Oh, are you going to be able to keep up?" And he says, "Speed's my middle name." And then he pauses and goes, "Actually, it's Maurice, but don't tell anybody."
Right.
I think I remember hearing about that.
So that's and there's other references to it later on, but the initial reference, that's what it is. Sally's like keep up. You know, he's like, please, Speed's my middle name. And he's like, actually, it's Maurice, but please don't tell anybody.
Sonic Speed.
Yeah. Maurice.
You're too slow.
Exactly. And he was almost a rabbit, by the way.
Yeah, he was almost a rabbit.
Man, you and rabbits, man.
I don't know. He was originally going to be a rabbit. It didn't work out well. He was supposed to be grabbing things with his ears, which later on they ended up taking that and turning it into another video game where there's a star that runs around grabbing things. But basically, originally that was the idea for Sonic.
Really, because the
Sonic-
first thing that comes to mind is Klonoa for PlayStation. Is that? I mean, it's a different company. It's Namco, but like when you
Yeah.
said like it's like a rabbit grabbing it with his ears, like man, that sounds kind of like Klonoa actually. But they probably repurposed that because I know there is a rabbit character in
Yeah.
the Sonic universe. I think called
Cream.
I think that's her name. Yeah, she's cute.
Also,
But
also, did you? I mean, I just kept, no pun intended. Yes, pun intended. I just kept going down these rabbit holes. Kept finding more and more stuff about Sonic, like the reason that he doesn't swim is strictly because the developer didn't realize that they could.
Huh.
Like, he actually didn't think
That's
that
fair.
hedgehogs could swim.
You know, with their
I
body,
wouldn't either.
like the way their body is formed, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to swim just because of like their nose is so low.
Yep.
That you think that they'd probably end up drowning themselves trying to keep their heads afloat.
And that's what he thought too. He never actually looked into it to find out that hedgehogs actually do swim. But he was like, nah, these things can't possibly swim. So that's why he makes Sonic like walk across the bottom of the water instead of swimming, and that's why he's always looking for air bubbles.
Speaking of rodents and water, did you know that chinchillas actually can't they can't be given baths? Because if they get moisture in their fur, it'll end up growing mildew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they
stinky
do
little
is they
chinchilla.
get like dust and stuff, or like sand and stuff, and they'll have like dry baths essentially where they'll just like roll around in the dust. That's how chinchillas clean themselves. However, my Sonic fact is, did you know that do you know why he's blue?
Oh, they're gonna say because hedgehogs eat poop. I thought that was gonna be your little fact.
That's gonna be my fact. Yes.
No, it's because they run out of breath when they're running.
No.
They
He's-
can only run to 6 miles an hour, so they're
He's
not
blue
really
because Sega
Oh no, they're
wanted
fast
him
relative
to
their
match
body.
their colors.
What? Say that again.
He's blue because Sega wanted them to match
Sega's colors.
The,
So-
if I'm not mistaken, the
Because Sega
original
was blue.
reason that he was created was because there was a contest in Sega to see what was going to be the mascot, and after a little while, they ended up coming up with Sonic. After
Well, I mean,
after he was a rabbit and all that
The
stuff.
emphasis is mascot because this is when they're trying to compete with Nintendo as
Yeah.
hard as they could. They wanted something, and of course Mario was the biggest phenomenon ever. So,
So-
they needed something to compete with that. And
Sonic ended
Yeah.
up being chosen as the mascot, and they wanted him to be blue because of Sega. So that is why Sonic is blue.
There were so many different things. As I was reading, I guess when he first came out, obviously Disney was like top of the world at that time, and they were saying that he was originally supposed to be kind of like a remember the whole thing about a rabbit. He was supposed to be kind of a mix between Oswald the Rabbit and Mickey, like somewhere in between. And that's actually what they started with. They're like, we want something that's somewhere in between Oswald and Mickey Mouse,
Not surprising with
and that's kind of like the starting point as to what they were supposedly given.
with how well received the anthropomorphic animals were with minimal clothing. I mean, the dude's literally only got gloves and shoes.
Right.
it's not surprising that that's like what
Yeah.
they would go for. Like, hey, this has worked for other people, so let's
Yeah,
see
we
what
want
we can do
something
with this.
somewhere in the middle between those.
However, one more thing. So Sonic Adventure 2, Pumpkin Hill. The Pumpkin Hill theme, which is
a work of art, by the way.
absolute work of art. Knuckles has the best themes in Sonic Adventure, and I love Zebrahead.
Every time.
So,
No, Zebrahead's great.
but so Knuckles is an echidna.
Are you gonna rap for us?
No, I'm not.
I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece.
So,
Knuckles
the
just
Great
look-
Emerald's power, I can sense it in my feet. You know that line there? You know why it's in the song? Because echidnas can actually sense electromagnetic signatures. So when he says, the Great Emerald's power, I can sense it in my feet, it's because he can actually feel the electromagnetic energy coming off of the Master Emerald pieces. And that's...
Whoa.
So,
They were educating us.
they
and we
they,
didn't
they
know it?
were... His songs go so hard, like, they have no reason to be as good as they are.
No, like you can actually release it like as its own single, and it would actually, like, no one would even understand it was like from a Sonic game.
It's
that
so good.
Yeah.
And speaking of
Oh,
sound,
Not devaluing Sonic music, by the way. Most Sonic music's amazing.
speaking of sound, the sound that he makes when he stops was actually already used for another game. Any guesses? You guys run into this when you're
talking about,
I'm listening to it
Knuckles?
back in my
Sonic?
head.
Sonic, when he stops, that sound was actually
which-
just completely copied from another game.
Which Sonic game are you talking about though? Because he does have different stop noises. I'm thinking like Sonic Adventure or the original Sonic the Hedgehog.
The original Sonic the Hedgehog stopping noise whenever he just
Yeah,
stops.
Not sure then, because I'm thinking like Sonic Adventure, and that sounds like it's copied from like Ridge Racer.
You were
That's-
so close.
I was gonna say Knight Rider.
Outrun.
Outrun. I was
Outrun,
close.
Yeah, that sound was originally used in Outrun, and it's the sound from the car. They're
Yeah.
like, nobody will put these two together. Nobody will ever
Yeah.
know. There's no need to create
No.
it again.
Because some of the Sonic, when he's just like abrupt halt, is straight up like the sound of a car screeching its brakes. So
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, just whatever asset they had from a game that they made before.
It was
So-
Outrun. That's what it was coming from.
It's such a good sound, though.
I
The
mean,
sound design of Sonic as a series, impeccable.
Oh yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that. Well, I mean, obviously, then the fact that like, hey, it's faster. Mario's slow as crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
The music to me also just stood out. I mean, it was
You're
so
too
of its
slow.
time. So of its time.
It's
Yeah, very
amazing.
90s. Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, let
we
me
have?
torture you guys for a second before we go to Javier's point.
While he's bringing all that up,
Go ahead.
I just want to say, like, I think that's one thing that a lot of games have lost. I mean, it's hard to do, but a lot of modern games don't have as many recognizable sound bites.
Mm-hmm. All right, you ready? Here's what we're doing today. So this is the part of the show where I torture these guys. What's up? What's up?
Yay!
And I usually look for really bad games. I look up
bad lists.
bad list. Today, I just straight up looked up a game. Now, here's what's on this game. There's options.
Get a
However,
4K camera so I can look at your phone better from Discord.
no. So wait, let's switch cameras. Nope. Sorry, no good.
Oh man.
It's not even changing anyway. Why is it not changing? Who knows? So anyway.
You're probably on the wrong screen.
Oh yeah, I am. You're so smart sometimes. Okay. Because I have to go here, then voila, then back to this, and then voila, and then back to this. Anyway.
Ooh.
So I'm just
Ooh.
pushing buttons. So here's how this is going to work. They give you options. I'm going to give you the option to have options.
I like
but
that.
but you only get 1 point. So if you get the answer without hearing the options, you get 3 points. If you have to listen to the options, you get 1 point. But remember, these are bad questions with bad answers.
As one would assume.
So you might want to hear the options and at least lock down 1 point. So it's 1-1 right now, isn't it? Yeah, it's 1-1. Steven has one, and Javier has one. Let's see. How do we flip for this one? Altman, give me a number from 1 to 1,000. That's what we'll do. I'll have the Altman give us a number from 1 to 1,000 on the stream. Oh, Steven, you get to go first.
It's Steven. And I know why. I know exactly why.
Why?
I don't want to give away your.
That's true. I don't. Good point.
But I know why.
Now, but you chose Steven. Very good. All right. So, Steven, here's the first question for you.
Would it be?
What is Luigi's favorite food? You can just give me an answer, or you can pick to listen to the options. Luigi's favorite food.
Give me the options, because I have no idea.
Sausage and smash, pizza, cheese toasty, or roast beef. Which
Just kind of going based off of what I know of Luigi. He's a coward, but he will rise when he needs to be. He's soft-spoken, and he seems like a man of...
I have no idea where this is going.
He seems like a man of routine.
All right.
And what is a simple thing that is very routinely other than pizza?
All right. And the answer, he says pizza. What? It didn't give me an answer?
You didn't...
It's not going to give me an answer until the end. We're going to find out.
You didn't prepare for this one, did you?
I did, but I didn't realize it wasn't going to tell me the answer. All right, so here we go. Javier? We're going to find out at the end who actually won. When was PlayStation 5 released?
Why do you give him the easiest question?
He's got to give me the month and the year.
I know that.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
No, you want to hear the options?
I don't pay attention to...
You want to hear the options? January 2020.
I didn't say yes.
Oh, too late now. You took too long.
I didn't say yes.
June 2020, November 2020, or January 2021?
Can I interject? Can I get bonus points for knowing the exact date?
Oh, boy. No, because then we'll find out what the answer is. We don't want to know the answer yet. All right, Steven, this one goes to you. What was the first commercially successful video game? Wow, that one was easy.
The first commercially successfully, or whatever.
It's
I can't today. It's been a very long day for me. It's been a very long day for me. You said the first
commercially successful video game.
I guess Pong.
That is the right answer.
Well, I won't know.
But you're not going to know yet.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was so popular.
Hey, I'm just reading them in order. It's the Altman's fault. He let him go first. Console. All right, Javier.
Mm-hmm.
What is the best-selling video game of all time? Oof.
I know it.
You want to hear him?
Yeah, give him to me. I already lost this one.
Red Dead Redemption 2, FIFA 18, Minecraft, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
I was gonna say Minecraft anyway.
Alright, Minecraft it is. Alright, Steven. What inspired games maker wait. Alright, what was it that inspired the developer to create Pokemon?
Oh, he had a hobby of collecting bugs, and he loved studying like the metamorphosis and all that, and how they kind of like caterpillar cocooning and then come out butterfly. So he's obsessed with that, and that was his inspiration.
Wow, that was such
The idea of collecting something and like watching it grow and stuff like that.
Didn't we go over this at one
I'm
point?
gonna give it to you.
Well, I mean, maybe, but
I mean, that was a long way to come around to butterflies. You did say butterflies.
They really put it all the way down to butterflies. That is the worst. Like,
that is a bad answer because he didn't just like, oh, I love butterflies. No, he collected all kinds of bugs. He was just obsessed with bugs.
it should have just been bug collecting.
Listen, the options were a dream.
Or the actual word for it.
The options were a dream, butterflies, old TV show, or his mom.
His mom.
So I think you found a list that someone created for their job as like a trivia thing that he was forced to make for like some sort of like morale thing.
This
I think that's what you found.
This feels like one of those
Well,
personality tests.
Javier's gonna get an easy one finally.
Hmm.
Oh, hold on.
Maybe not.
The question is, what is the name of that character?
Bomb.
All right.
Yeah, that's Bomberman, all right.
Well,
In all his pixelated glory.
but Javier guessed it though. So you're out.
It's funny. It looks better on Twitter than it does on Discord. Kind of funny.
All right, Steven, here's your question.
Hmm.
No, that's just because we don't have Nitro. I
Is
think.
that? I didn't realize Discord limited itself like that, or like that hard without Nitro.
Discord throttles a fair
Alright.
amount.
Oof.
Hmm.
Steven, what is a frag?
Oh, that's easy.
There are
Wait.
options here.
And
Hold
it
on, and,
depends
like,
on
in-
the context.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah,
like, what context?
that's what I'm looking at. You might
Like
need.
in information technology frag, or do you mean like a fragmentation grenade? It's a video game, or it's video game context. I can only assume like frag grenade, fragmentation.
And
Alright.
I'm gonna give you options.
Okay.
A number of things you have killed in a game, a cheat code, a French bag, or a burrowing marsupial that lives
first
in
one.
South Australia.
The first one, got it. It's
Yeah,
like
With the
It's a shooter.
context of the
shooter context.
the
yeah.
rest of what this is, I would have definitely said it's a kill.
Yeah, the first one.
Which is weird the way they phrase it because the number of kills. No, a frag is just a single kill.
Not only that, but like you would maybe say KD. That's kind of how you brag about the number of kills you have because you want to brag about your KD ratio.
Yeah. But like
You know what I mean?
frag is definitely a singular kill because if
Yeah,
although it's
that guy
weird
got fragged.
because a top frag is somebody who has the most kills. But it's not like plural there, even though the amount would
Nope,
be
I got it.
designated as frags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it. I found the Urban Dictionary. Not that I'm trying to cheat here. But I did the first
All right.
one.
Well,
But
let's
yeah,
see what happened. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the third answer, or like the third definition under Urban Dictionary for frag is slang used by computer game players to describe the act of defeating another player. Maybe this is supposed to be the PG way of said instead of saying I killed that man.
I fragged him.
But the first definition of frag is a slang term for fragmentation hand grenade.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see how you guys did. Luigi's favorite food. You were correct. Pizza.
Yay!
So you get 1 point.
Pizza's safe.
Javier, PlayStation 5 release 2020. You were correct, of November 2020.
I was gonna say September,
November.
but
September
12th.
rain.
November 12th, 2020 is when the PS5 released.
First commercially successful video game was Pong. You were correct on that one as well. Best selling video game was Minecraft. Javier was right on that one. You were correct about the butterflies inspiring Pokemon. Javier was right
I
about
don't think you have to
Bomberman.
do anything except tell him that he's won. Like,
No,
We might be tied actually.
it is tied.
but
Yeah.
is it tied because you had to give him, what's it called? Give him
Let me see here.
the last one, like, what's it called? Give him what's it called for the last one?
All right, let's go. Here's the tiebreaker. You ready?
The answer?
Okay.
Here's the tiebreaker.
The options.
Think about your answer. Do not say it, both of you.
Okay.
Well, again, who knows when this was done? So, according to this, how many PlayStation 4 consoles have been sold? Think about your answer. How many PlayStation 4 consoles have been sold? You both have your answer. It is obviously in the millions. You don't need to say millions. You just need to tell me what number you're going to go with. On the count of 3, both of you say your number. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
A million. I don't know.
Wow, Javier wins.
Oh yeah. Well, because I was about to say like 100 million, but like that didn't sound right. In my
You
head.
would have won. It's 102.
Oh, okay. See, because I remember like, oh yeah, it wasn't PS2 20 million or 200 million. I keep forgetting if it was like an extra zero or not.
Yeah, you would have taken it because it was 102. But Javier gets the tiebreaker.
Oh man.
That's fine.
But like my question is, was it a tie because you had to give him examples for the last one?
Yeah. Yeah. You guys got examples.
That's weird. I feel bad about that one.
That's okay.
Yeah, because that context was bad
Yeah.
for frag.
Hey. That's how the cookie crumbles.
It is.
All right, Javier, give us your fact of the day.
My fact. Okay, so
A needle pulling thread.
those who love Minecraft, there was a long time where Minecraft just didn't release hardly anything new. Like, we'd wait 2 years and then we'd get like a single mob. So those were kind of the dark ages. And then Microsoft bought out Minecraft.
Correct.
And after that happened, we saw a lot of new updates, new innovation coming from Mojang Studios. And one of those was a mob kind of contest where they put out 3 mobs that might get into the game, and then the people would vote. So what you had was an ice Illager or something like that. It's basically one of the Illagers from the game, but it has ice powers, if I'm not mistaken. And then you had the Moo Bloom, which was, if you guys know, mushrooms are in the game, and they're just cows, but they have mushrooms on their back.
Like Last of Us?
So, the Moo Bloom was just cows, but they had flowers on their back. And you could have a Moo Bloom of any color in the game. So, just cows running around with different flowers on their back. It was fantastic. Everybody loved this. And then you had the most uninteresting, bland creation of a mob that is the glow squid. Now hear this. Almost nobody liked the glow squid at all. Like, everybody I talked to was like, yes, the Moo Bloom needs to be in this. The Ice Illager, it would be cool, but the Moo Bloom it's the obvious choice. It's the coolest mob, even though it has no intrinsic use. Nobody liked the glow squid. Everybody agreed that the glow squid, while a decent concept, just there was nothing that it could truly add to the game, not even as far as like aesthetics go. However, the Minecraft YouTuber Dream, the controversial figure that he is, decided that it would be funny to rig the voting. Now keep in mind, this man has millions of followers. Like, the Dream Foundation
knows about him.
is like, it's almost as toxic as the K-pop community. Or and that it gets bad. Like there have straight up been fights over whose K-pop group is better. They these people are vicious. So Dream is like, he actually tweeted out that he was going to rig the voting, and he told all of his followers to go vote for the glow squid. He didn't even want the glow squid.
That would be funny.
He just thought it would be funny to rig the voting for a mob that nobody wanted. He even admitted that this was I think he said that it was going to be the worst mob of all. And he actually got everybody to vote, and the glow squid is now in the game. Still a very bland mob that you can there's only one thing I think that you can do with it, and it's just you can make item frames glow now. And it still looks it's so bad. As somebody who enjoys Minecraft, it's just a bad mob. A bad addition. He actually issued a formal apology.
Nice.
He's like, I recognize that I upset some people by doing this and rigging this. I didn't realize that it would upset this many people. I'm sorry. And then that's basically the whole story. I think that was the first thing that really put Dream on the map for people who weren't just following Minecraft.
So let's jump real quick, because I definitely want to jump on this. Because news. Today, January 18th, 2020. You spoke of Microsoft buying Minecraft,
yes,
and making it a better game. So today, Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Now, in full transparency, there are certain things that our amazing Steven cannot say because he works.
I'm an employee for Microsoft, so I'm very limited in my input can be, because I don't want that to actually have some sort of connotation that there's like insider knowledge or anything like that. I actually don't have any insider knowledge. A lot of this was hush hush. Like, I had some inkling of what was happening, but it was very hush hush, very very hush hush.
Very.
Yeah. I mean, did you want to start with my thoughts on it, or?
Yeah. Let's start with yours, because mine are weird. Because that's where my brain goes.
And this isn't me shilling for the company I work for. And a company's a company, in my opinion. You know, I do love my company, but Microsoft is an incredibly progressive place. I mean, like, probably one of the most progressive places I can think of, as far as like really being on top of what's right and what's wrong. You know, to like in the workplace and even just in life. So I think this might be a good thing, because as we know with Blizzard's also very recent controversies with, especially with the kind of fraternity mindsets of the workplace, where like if you are rich white man, you will succeed there, you play by the bro rules, and if you are anything else, especially a woman, it's not good working there. And there's a lot of bad things that was just happening in that workplace, and things that should have been done a lot sooner.
Well,
but with the go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, we saw Activision's shares go from $103 to, after the big old mess that they had, they dropped to $57. And
that's
immediately when Microsoft bought it, they went straight up to like mid 80s already. The last I checked, it was right around 86.
No, this is.
So I think a lot of people are seeing some of the things you're seeing too.
It was a huge acquisition. I think it was what, $70 billion.
Yeah,
was the up to? I mean, it was exactly that.
It was. Like, I think it was like 68 or something like that. They said
68.1, but like let's just say 70 billion.
Yeah,
let's just say.
But you know, it would have been a few more a couple years ago, before the whole mess that they got themselves into. So
no, absolutely, absolutely, and huge acquisition. And before people go like, oh my god, that's overpriced. I mean, Bethesda was only like, whoa. Disney bought Fox for also almost $70 billion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
put that into context. When buying companies, that's $70 billion is not that outrageous.
And let's talk about some of the stuff they bought real quick, because immediately my brain went to, I saw somebody say, "Oh, wait a minute, does that mean that Call of Duty is going to be on the Game Pass all of a sudden?" You know?
Not necessarily. I mean, honestly, more than likely. And again, me as a Microsoft employee, I have no idea.
Right,
Let me
right.
just get that on the record. I have no clue. Not allowed to know these things because, well,
But
exactly.
there's so many games. I mean, the number
you want me to go down the list?
Spider-Man
I got
games,
the list right here.
There's a bunch of Spider-Man games that, Microsoft has not been able to touch.
Maybe they'll make Overwatch interesting again.
Yeah, I mean, there's Microsoft, there's Overwatch. Yeah, I have not played Overwatch in such a long time.
So Activision Blizzard owns and operates additional studios under an independent studios model under Activision Publishing, including Treyarch, Infinity Ward, High Moon Studios, and Toy for Bob. And obviously underneath Activision Blizzard's belt is Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, Guitar Hero, bring it back, Tony Hawk's Spyro, Skylanders, World of Warcraft, as everyone knows, StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and even not Candy Crush. So,
Which, by the way,
Microsoft got that. Oh,
by the way, Candy Crush, ridiculous number.
Do people still play Candy Crush?
I was just looking
every
at
middle-aged
that.
woman
Hold
has
on,
that installed
hold on.
on
You
their
ready?
phone.
400 million players a month on Candy Crush.
Wow.
If it's a month, that's active.
A month.
Yeah.
400 million. That's.
I wonder what its peak was.
I don't know. That's crazy. Crazy numbers. And again, listen, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because we don't really know a whole lot. But there are so many things that my brain goes to. Like I said, my brain went to Spider-Man because for the longest time, Microsoft has not been able to touch Spider-Man. But now there's a bunch of the Spider-Man games that we own now. The other thing that I found interesting, and this is just my brain, because my brain works in such a weird realm that I don't always go to the obvious. I'm always curious about some of the outside things. And you mentioned it in passing, Skylanders.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I have the same thought on Skylanders. The way it was done was like, yeah. However, in the strangest way possible, Skylanders might be the closest thing that there is as far as characters to Super Smash Bros. In other words, there's tons of characters with all kinds of different powers that if they actually decided to do something with it, it could be interesting.
You're losing hobby. And
You lost me as soon as you said Skylanders.
Smash Bros is not. Well, Smash
I
Bros is not
understand that, but I'm
comparison.
just looking
Very bad
strictly
comparison.
at the characters. I'm looking strictly at all the characters because I remember when all the characters came out for Skylander. And I remember the game, and some of the characters I was like, oh, that's a cool character. That's a cool character. But there was no storyline to the characters. There was nothing except for, that's a cool character. He has X power,
Did they have a TV show? Because that's the only thing that they could really profit off of.
I don't know. And I'm wondering if they could go to something like that. Because, again, it's Microsoft. They don't have to stick to... They don't have to...
Skylanders is not coming back though. That's a dead property.
Man, I think it'd be interesting.
Skylanders would be the biggest waste of money that Microsoft has done in years. Absolutely.
The toy in a game gimmick died.
Oh no!
No,
I think they got to get rid of the toy in the game.
As a former GameStop employee, those things were hell.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about toy. In the game.
That.
I'm not talking about Skylander the way it was done. I'm talking about Skylander completely rethought out and completely done practically into either a completely different game or like you guys said, a TV show or something.
The
a cartoon.
IP of Skylanders has been burnt for so long that any attempt to reignite that, I think, is a mistake.
But has it been burnt so long that kids
as somebody who grew up
who are 4, 5, 6 years old, you know, if they saw those characters in a cartoon, you know, they wouldn't know that those characters were dead characters. You
No,
know?
but the thing is,
I think Angel
everybody,
just likes Skylanders a lot and wants them back.
everybody who has kids who are that young were around to know that
Yeah.
Skylanders is a bad property. So if they're that young, their parents aren't going to expose them to that because they don't like it themselves. They have no, if they chose what they watched themselves, they'd probably be intrigued, but the parents aren't going to show them that
Right.
because they're not interested
I don't know.
themselves.
I see it.
They're
I
like,
see it.
oh, this leaves a bad taste in my mouth, so we're just going to do it there.
Let me also just refer or like kind of clarify stuff. I actually like the idea of Skylanders. I actually do. I like original
Yeah.
ideas. I like I like novelties too.
Right.
So I respect where you're coming from, Angel, but you're off your horse. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I can
buddy.
still see them working something because
Oh,
again,
actually, can I actually squeeze in an
Yeah.
really funny
Go ahead.
a really funny fact that actually I think you might appreciate, Angel, and this is also for my dad because he loves this. Back in 1980, Infocom, people in chat might know this, or may be familiar with this company. Angel, you might be as well. Asked Microsoft to publish the retail version of Zorg, which was an awesome text adventure game, but the executive in charge of retail turned them down. Bill Gates, however, was a huge Zork fan, said he would have overwritten the decision if he had heard about it and never would have let the license go. So it took 40 years. Microsoft owns Zork, baby. Let's go.
That's awesome. Although, if I remember correctly, doesn't Activision have the rights to make Transformers games?
Maybe.
Because I know that High Moon made the War for Cybertron games,
High Moon.
which were
Sorry.
incredible. I would really like to see more like Transformers kind of stories come out of that new partnership, because I feel like Transformers has always had a very big fan base, because whenever the games come out and whenever the movies come out, despite them not being the greatest, they always have a big turnout for the most part.
But no matter what, Transformers will always come back in some iteration to like the newest generation of kids.
And
because
I hope
will always
that
sell to kids.
Microsoft buying that, if they do have the rights to use that IP, will capitalize on that again, because I think that would be a good choice for them, because there is a lot of people that would be interested in that kind of thing, especially because of how devoted the people who played War and Fall of Cybertron were. Like, the people, they ended up dying out because not a whole lot of support and new content. But the people who played it and talked about it, they always talk about how much they loved those games and the world that was created through that.
well,
no, I remember a lot of the Transformers games that were not like the movie license games were a lot of fun.
They
like,
were.
actually, like, yeah, especially going back and forth between car mode and robot mode and just wrecking stuff.
listen, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're gonna close this episode with, it's gonna be really interesting. I'm really looking forward to see some of the obvious moves, but I'm more intrigued even, a little more on what are going to be some of the not so obvious moves. What will they resurrect? What will we see all of a sudden show up on Game Pass? What things that went by the wayside, will all of a sudden make their way back up? Quake. And again, I don't want to go too far into this, but
Quake's
it's gonna be
already on.
interesting.
No,
on
that's
Game Pass,
Bethesda.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Quake was a Bethesda. Oh, because Bethesda purchased id. So
Correct.
yeah, that's. But as far as the Activision Blizzard thing, you're absolutely right. There was a whole. Activision's been around since the '70s with Atari.
So there's
Like,
a lot.
Activision's been around forever. Blizzard is also, people immediately think, when they think Blizzard, they just think Warcraft and Starcraft and Diablo. Blizzard is making a lot of games before that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we might actually, in Game Pass, and again, I'm not because I'm a Microsoft employee. I know nothing. But
I know
just based on
nothing?
Me as a gamer who actually appreciates things and notices trends, obviously. Game Pass has been, and you see it. If you open up Game Pass right now after the Bethesda acquisition, every Doom game's on there.
Yep.
Every Quake game is on there.
Yep.
Like they're
And
bringing
that's
back
what I'm
older
saying.
games
A lot
too.
of those things
And
came
that's
back.
where I'm agreeing with you is that it could be either way. They may only pander to the newer release stuff, aka your Call of Duties, even like the Crash Bandicoot games being resurrected too.
Yeah.
And even Tony Hawk. That might be the furthest it goes though. But you might be right. It could be a complete left field. And hey, we brought back a bunch of games. Like we brought back Blackthorn. Do you guys know what Blackthorn is? Of course you don't. That was a Super Nintendo game.
Pitfall. They brought Pitfall back. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
Activision, exactly. I love
Yeah.
Pitfall.
Pitfall
yeah.
is my favorite. So
Mhm.
anyway, so with that, guys, we got to cut it short. Join us again next Tuesday. We will be back live at 7:30. We usually go 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern time on
My bad.
GOTE.tv. Gamers on the Edge on Twitch. For those of you on the podcast, and for those of you watching us here, if you missed anything, you can go to the podcast, look up Pontification Station, and you can listen to all the previous episodes as well. Again, thank you guys so much. We're going to pontificate. Let me see. How's it go?
Pontificate.
Exactly. Just like that.
Pontificate. Pontificate.
Exactly.
I forgot you have the sound. I can't hear it on Discord.
I
forgot you have
do.
that.
I know. We got to fix that up. But
We gotta get
anyway,
that
guys,
working.
thank you
Actually,
so
can
much
hear
for joining us. You got Steven, Javier, and
Yuppie.
myself, Angel. We're out of here. We's pontificating. That's why we call it Pontification Station. See ya.
See ya, homies.